Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're looking at Petal Park. It's a lovely stamp set and coordinating punch. So we've had punches with flowers on before, but they're normally single ones. This is great because you can punch out 3 flowers and a leaf all at the same time. Although I wouldn't do the leaf at the same time. The flowers come in 3s, so they are really easy. If you look on here, we're going to be using this one. Just take it out. You could cut them all apart if you wanted to, but I think that they're great for, you can see on there, you can stamp and then punch them out all at the same time. Now you can use the Stamparatus if you want to do multiples and things. I'm just going to use it the normal way so that you can see, and we're going to build a complete scene because you've got the leaves that go down first, you've got extra little bits to come in, and we can build up lots of flowers. Okay, so I've taken this one that we're going to use. Now I need to make sure that I put it onto my block the way the punch goes. So if I turn it over, I can see little flower at the top, this one on one side, that on the other. So that's the way I need to put it in. So I'm going to make sure that I get that in quite nicely on there. It's one of the advantages of photopolymer, and our photopolymer is very thick. Colours we're going to use, I want to have, the back is going to be in evening evergreen. So that's our evening evergreen that we're going to stamp the background with, and probably a little bit of soft succulent. And then we are going to be using for the flowers Orchid Oasis, Gorgeous Grape, and Fresh Freesia, because I wanted sort of like purpley bluey hues that I thought would be quite pretty. So that's what we're going to start with. So I'm going to put these out of the way because we're going to do the background last. We're just going to do some of these flowers, and I can start with the palest first because then you don't have to necessarily clean your pad as you go along. And I've got some pieces that are not scrap, they're good pieces, but they are pieces that are over. So let's just ink this up, make sure it's inked up nicely, and then we can put it down in on here. And we've got this beautiful flower like that. Now I'm going to punch it out as we go. So let's put this up in on here, line them up together, and then I squeeze the punch just very gently so I can get it exactly where I want it, and then I can punch it out. So that's one with the Fresh Freesia, which is my palest colour. Whoops, get this little guy out. Okay, now I need to go down to the other end of this, and I'm going to put the Orchid Oasis next. So let's get this one open. And this is sort of a purpley blue. So I can put that in on top like that. And that can then come in down on the bottom like this. Like that. Oh, that's a nice one. Do love these. The patterns of these I think are very pretty. They're quite modern. There's 2 different styles. One's more floral, which is lovely. This is a little bit more modern, but I think it's going to work beautifully. So and I wanted a big oversized, lots of flowers on there. I don't want just, one little bunch. I want quite a few. Okay, so I am going to, because this is slightly darker colour, I am going to clean this off on my Simply Chamois because I don't want any of that purple or the blues going in onto the ink pad. But as I say, if you're using a very pale colour like the Fresh Freesia and then going into dark, then you're all right. So make sure I've got my little flower at the top. Ink this up in the gorgeous grape. Oh, this is going to be nice. And I'm going to put this on here so I don't waste any of this paper. And I can put that on there. Oh yes, lovely. I do like that one. Okay, so again, just making sure that I line it up. It's quite an easy one to line up actually, because they're not difficult shapes. Some of the ones that we've had before in the past, oh my goodness, you go round, around, 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 around to try and get it right because they're slightly different shapes, but these are beautiful. Okay, so those are our flowers. And I can probably get my little sentiment, probably will come out of there, but I don't even know if I'm going to do a sentiment yet. I might just have it all flowers this time. I'm just going to clean that off so it doesn't stain my ink pad, my stamp too much. You will find that photopolymer, they do stain, but it doesn't have any effect at all on them. So those are our little flowers that we've got, which are rather nice. Now we're going to, so I can put these ones back on here. And as I say, there's two different types of flowers, but these ones are quite nice because you don't have to do any colouring or anything like that to them. These other ones, which are here, which are these ones, it's easier to see it on there. You can see on those you'd need to really colour them in because otherwise they're not going to be as bright. So we need this background one so that they're all the same styling. So let's get this one out, which is this big long one here. And again, just be a little bit careful when you peel them off because these are quite long pieces. So if you're incredibly heavy-handed, you know, just be a little bit aware, but you can see they're a really thick, heavy quality. So it's me that's stuck down there again. Heavy quality so that you're not going to break them. But what you need to do is to literally just allow it to rest, because you can see it sort of swings about a bit on here because of the shape of it. So what I tend to do is to literally just let it drop and completely relax down on here, and then we can pick it up like that. And again, there's no actual right or wrong of where you put this. You know, you can put it wherever you want. So I'm going to take my card on here and I'm going to do it in the Evening Evergreen. And as I say, you can do it up at the top, and then you can have another one down at the bottom to fill up, or you can have just one like that and fill all the pieces up. Entirely up to you. I think I'm just going to have one because what I want to do is to use these little flowers and bits to add in on here. And I think I want to, you know, to do those pieces with it. So we want the soft succulent. No, we don't. We want the Evening Evergreen for the largest piece. So let me just, and I'm doing it this way because this is a bigger piece, so I want to make sure, and I'm pouncing because I want to make sure that I get it all in the right space. Now I'm going to have it this way. As I say, there is no real sort of right or wrong, but I'm going to have it this way, right slap bang in the centre like this. There we go. Beautiful. And now I want to do some leaves, but if I'm doing leaves, and this is where I'm going to use the extra scraps that I've got, as I say, when I turn around and say I try not to waste anything, that's very true. So on here, I'm going to use all of the little bits on here, Let me just take this off carefully. Like that, then I can put that back, because as I say, it's quite a long woggly one, technical term, woggly one, to make sure that, you know, it bends and wiggles a bit, so that you need to make sure that you don't overstretch it, otherwise, as I say, it will go out of shape a bit. So we want the this is the leaf, so let's find this leaf, which is that one. Is it that one? Yes, that one. So I'm going to get some of these pieces out. So we want this leaf, and then we want, this is the solid little piece of foliage on there. So we want that. These are the little solid flowers. So we want those on there to add little bits up. Those are the ones that aren't solid. That's the leaf that isn't solid. And there's some little speckledy bits as well. So I'm going to take those out, that we're going to add as we go along. So as we start building it, we're going to add some pieces on, so that then that makes it look just a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece, and let me have a look and see for scissors and glue. Let's just bring that out on here. Okay, so I'm just going to, don't want it that big, so I'm going to cut this just literally down like this on here, which means that I should be able to get a few leaves on that way, and then we'll just cut this one down like this. Okay, that piece I'm going to throw. These little pieces here, I'm going to take the leaf, which is this leaf, put it onto the block, and I'm putting it on so that I look at my punch as I go, and I want it sort of at that angle, so that then it can go in on the punch. So got it on the evening evergreen, and it means I can have one like that, one like that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll do. Don't even know if I'm going to use 7, but that's what the amount that came out of there, so I can use that. I'm going to do it all in the same colour. I was thinking of doing some of them in the soft succulent, but I think I might just do the accent pieces in the soft succulent. I want the leaves to be all of the same colour, because then they are, unless I've done the bottom stamp, so unless I'd done this one in different colours, and I could have with a sponge dauber, I don't want to do these ones in different colours, because I don't think it'll work. So easy way of doing this, and I'm doing it like that because it means that I can very easily, just at the bottom, let's take that out because we don't need that piece, but if I take this in like this, in on the bottom, I should be able to then line it up relatively easily. I always go quiet, I'm trying to line something up, don't I? Okay, that's one. Once you start, you get it fairly quickly. It's just the first one. You want to get it as straight as you can. That's a 2. That's a 3, like that. Take all of those little scrappy pieces. Make sure that I've put those out. And then we've got a few to come in on here. So again, I just need to make sure that I'm lining it up as evenly as I can. As I say, you spend a little bit more time. I'm like, my hand-to-eye coordination is not always the best. It's the dangers of old age that you find that you tend to shake a little bit more than you used to, and your eyesight isn't as good, but crafting like this really helps because it hones all those skills and things to keep them going, which is quite good. And I always make sure that I take all of those, if I've got little pieces, that I shape them out so that I haven't got any stuck in there. Lovely lock on there, so it means you can store them nice and flat, which is good. Okay, so we've got now a whole pile of little leaves. Take these little scraps of paper out. So we've got flowers, we've got leaves, and we've got these little pieces to go in as well. So we've done that leaf. Says me, I'm going to put it, I'm just putting it on a block in case I decide I'm going to use it again. So these were the little flowers, weren't they? So I think I just want to put some little flowers sort of dotted about. So let's have the fresh freesia first. So I'm going to take them quite far out on there, I think. Like that. So we've got two, one on either side. Then I'm going to take the Orchid Oasis, and again just sort of dot one out there. I'll have one down on there. So I'm doing two of each one just because I thought that that might look quite nice. Where's my purple? Underneath here. So my gorgeous grape. And as I say, you can use whatever colours you want. You know, you can use all sorts of pinks or reds or yellows or oranges or, you know, whatever you fancy. I just thought that these would work quite nicely together and would be quite nice and bright, because I fancied something that was quite bright. Let's just tap that on there, make sure that it's coloured in. And up on there. I'll have the other one down in like that. Okay, so I've spread it out. You can see the leaves are there. I've spread it out because I want it to cover the card. I'm going to be doing quite a lot of bits in on there and adding pieces in. So that's that one. Now we want this little leaf, which is this one, but it allows us to put some more in there. So I'm going to take the soft succulent now, which just adds some other tone of green in. And I'm just going to sort of add a few pieces in like this. I'm just sort of working my way around. I tend to turn the card as I'm going because then that gives me an idea of where I want it to go. Now I might actually put, particularly on this one, I'm going to have a little one coming out there, and then probably a little one coming out there. Can have a little one coming out there. Can turn that one that way round and have a little one coming out there, with a little one coming out there, and coming out like that. Now it might look a little busy, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be filling this all with flowers, so you'll only have little bits peeking through, which is why I wanted it to look, the background to be quite full, because we're building the layers with the flowers over the top, so that it's not just using, you know, one flower. It's going to be a real sort of bouquet, which I think, for me, I like that look. Okay, now I'm going to take the little speckles, and the speckles I want to go into the darker green. So we're going back to the evening evergreen, and we're just going to put a couple of speckles in. Now, you can do them at the end, but once you've got the flowers in with dimensionals and things, it doesn't work as well. So literally, we're just doing a few. We don't want too many of these. Turn your work round as you go, and then you won't get your speckles all in the same direction coming through. I think that's probably about it. I don't know whether I want any more, although I might take it right into the corner on here. That one will go right in the corner, won't it? Okay, I think that's about right. We want one more here. Once you start, you can't stop, can you? Particularly with speckles. Okay, that looks nicely balanced. You want it to look balanced, but again, you want to be able to put all of the pieces in that you want. Okay, so now we need to, let's go and get some dimensionals out, and we can start putting some of these together. So we want our big flowers first. So we've got 3 big, we've got 3 middling, and we've got 3 small. And then we've got quite a few leaves. So I'm just going to turn them all upside down so I can put the dimensionals on at the same time. Okay, we'll do the small ones first. So little dimensionals will go in on the little flowers. I'll just put those in on the centre, or centre-ish. That. We'll put these in on here. Yes, I can't wait for the spring to really start. I've got my daffodils are literally just in bud at the moment. None of them have opened yet. I'm in the southeast of England, which means that we do get things a little earlier than, you know, if I was my uncle who used to live in Scotland, he didn't, spring for him he didn't even start his daffodils until March time, so almost a month to 6 weeks later than the south of England. So, you know, different parts of the country, spring starts at different times, depending how warm it is. And the southeast where I am is probably one of the warmest parts of the UK, which means that spring does start a bit earlier. It's still very chilly at the moment, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be getting a little bit warmer, and flowers are going to be starting to come out, and that's the nice thing. And although these colours are probably a little dark for spring, I think that for me, I love these colours. So I'm literally just going to take, doesn't matter which one I'm doing first, and I'm just going to put them straight over the top like this. So I use the 3 big ones first, because then I can just take those colours in. And as I say, you've got little leaves tucked in coming out, which is fine, because you don't want it to be all showing, because you've got all the other colours. So now we've got the purple, so I want to put that one in, round in on here, so that comes the opposite side. So you haven't got 2 colours next to each other, you've spread them out a bit. The blue one can come up in like that and just tuck in. You can tuck them out and tuck them in, and tuck them wherever you want. That one can come in down on here. But you can see you just get little peeps of things coming through, which I think is quite nice. And then we've got the smaller ones, which can come just a little bit further out. So that's the purple one. What colour is this one? The pale one. Come out on there. And then this is going to be the blue one, which can just come in like that, which is quite nice. Okay, now we've got our leaves. So we can then take our leaves, and you've got a pointy end and a flat end. So I'm just going to tuck them in so that they are down on the side. And as I say, you get little bits peeking through, but you also get, I'm going to put another one just coming in up like that on there. So you've got the layers of them coming through, which I think is quite nice. Let's have this one in. Turn it round, because for me, I can then see, if you keep it all in the same angle, it can look a bit uniform sometimes. If you turn the card round, you get to see things from slightly different angles. And as I say, I'm doing it so you can see on here, you've got the original stamping of the leaves underneath, and then you've got these ones which are coming in over the top, which just gives that little bit of extra. So if I turn that back, I think that looks fine. I will probably just add one more in on there to just take that one out like that. Okay, so that's given us all, and as I say, you can see the bits in underneath coming through. You can see the little leaves and patterns and things that we've done. And then what I'm going to do is, so that's going to go in onto here. You can put whatever sentiment you want on there. I don't know what I'm going to put on there, so I'm going to leave it. But what I want to do to just finish it off is, you could put a pearl inside each one, or any form of twinkly, but I've got the light Daffodil Delight, and I am just going to just give a little bit of a centre on each one, and I'm even going to do it on this one. So I'm going to go round just on the outside of it like that. Just give a little bit more on there. You can do it as much or as little as you want, but I just wanted just a little bit like that, which just makes it look quite pretty. And then, as I say, if you want to, you can take, let me get my little ones out, and I would probably use, you could use the tiny pearls, would look quite pretty, particularly the small ones, or you could put these, I think are a bit big, the flower centres, but we have what was I looking for? I am looking for a specific, I want the champagne pearls is what I'm looking for. So I think I tried to organise these the other day and put them in little boxes and pots and things, so that probably means that I've got them everywhere. Here, are they my champagne ones? Yes, these are the ones, because they're slightly yellow. So I'm going to put these just in, and we'll have the small ones. Whoa. So that can then go in on the centre, and you've got the yellow shining through. I only want the little ones because I don't want the big ones. That one can go in on there. And that one can go in on there. Now, you can take them through on all of them. And I don't know, I might do. Should we be over generous? Because they, as I say, being the champagne ones, having that little bit of yellow underneath just twinkles it through and looks as if they're just shining a little bit more. Whoops. Come on. That one in on there. And this one in on there. There we go. Oops, no, I've missed one. That one there. Okay, have I got them all now? Yes, I have. Okay, so that is our card. Add whatever sentiment you want. You know, it could go for birthdays, it could go for spring, it could do for friends, it could do whatever you want. But I think it's, I like the colours. They're not, you know, what you would normally think of. But again, you know me, I like to think slightly outside the box. But I hope you enjoyed it. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.